He rings the doorbell, and then he waits for someone to answer. And as he stands there, we can make observations about his appearance. The boy looks extremely thin. Thin arms, thin legs. You can also see there's something around his ankles, which we'll find out later is duct tape. There's also what appears to be blood on one of his arms. So when no one answers the door at this first neighbor's house, Russell leaves and he moves on to another house.
Answer the door right now. But if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Yes.
Hi, I was just wondering if you could do 2 favors.
Well, what are they?
Taking me to the nearest police station. Well, actually, just one's fine.
What's going on, son? Have a seat there.
It's personal business.
Have a seat. What's your name? How'd you get here? I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. And he's said he just came from a neighbor's house. He's emaciated. He's got tape around his legs. He's hungry and he's thirsty.
Need someone immediately.
After the 911 call, first responders arrived, and then they loaded Russell into an ambulance. One of the first responders, she begins to cry when she sees the condition that this 12-year-old boy was in.
I'll take more. If you want me to send them to you.
Next, we'll move on to the body camera footage of Jody Hildebrand being taken into custody.
Can you just step out?
I have my attorney.
That's great. Step out of the house.
No, I'm not going to step out of the
Step
house.
out of the house.
Step out of the house.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
We're just going to see if
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
they're going to be able to phone.
Wait a minute, how do you come to my house?
Right there.
Look, they go into my house.
Just have a seat right there.
Do you have a search warrant?
Have a seat right there.
Do you have a search
Have
warrant?
a seat right there. I'll explain everything after. Have a seat right there.
Do you have a search warrant, sir?
Control 12x11. Can you hold the air? We're searching the house.
I can tell you what's in the house.
Okay. Just have a seat right there for me.
Do you have a search warrant?
We'll explain it after this.
You can't just come into my house without a search warrant.
We'll explain everything after this, ma'am.
But that doesn't make sense. You come into my house and do what you want, and then you tell me you don't have a
No,
warrant?
we'll explain why we did.
But don't you have to have a warrant?
Not at this moment, we don't. We're here on exigent circumstances. And I'll explain it after this, after my sergeant and the officer are done clearing the house. Is there anybody else in the house?
Yes.
2 kids?
There's a little girl.
Just one?
She's right over here.
Okay. How old is she?
She'll be 10 next week.
Okay.
I have Airbnb guests over there. Probably scared me to death.
Okay.
Now, inside the house, law enforcement did eventually locate 9-year-old Eve. She was cowering and scared inside of a closet. It looked like it was a closet off of a bathroom inside one of the many rooms of this home.
You come in, my buddy. I'm a police officer. Are you going for the union here? Hey, you okay? Is it just you in here? I'm Sergeant Tobler. What's your name? I just have one. Where's your sister at? Contact one. You okay? Huh? You doing okay? You don't want to talk to me? Yeah, that's okay. Can you come with me though? We got Jody out here. You know Jody? She's outside with us.
Now, initially, you can hear Sergeant Tobler refer to Eve as Bud and then ask her where her sister is. And that's because Tobler initially thought that Eve was a boy because she was so thin and because her hair had been cut very short. Not only is this little girl not talking, but she's not even moving. She's sitting in the same exact position. She's not reacting to anything. It's almost as if she's completely disassociated, which makes a lot of sense considering the literal hell she'd been living in for months.
We helped your brother. And we got him some help too. And that's what we want to do for you. if we want to get you some help too. We are safe. We will not hurt you, and we won't do anything to hurt you. You don't want to talk? Okay. There's nothing at all you want to talk about at all? It's okay to talk to me.
Eve is then brought some food, and it's placed in front of her, and for several minutes, she still doesn't move. She's staring at the food as if it's some kind of cruel joke or some kind of vicious ploy. And the second she reaches out for it, she would be punished. She won't eat the food even though she's hungry. Now, after, I think, 10 or 15 minutes, Eve did end up eating, and she ate an entire pan pizza, and then she ate half of a large pizza. And eventually she allowed first responders to bring her to the ambulance 4 hours after they'd found her in the closet. That's how nervous and scared and distrustful Eve was. That's how mentally broken she was. That's how little she believed the word of any adult at this point.
So are they all living with you, or?
No, I haven't seen them for over a year.
Any of them?
No, none of them.
For a year?
Over a year.
According to Kevin Franke, it wasn't a judge or a law enforcement official who told him he couldn't see his children. It was his own wife.
Okay.
I've been in a separation.
From who?
From my wife and family.
What's your wife's name?
Ruby.
Franke.
The girls, the two missing daughters of Ruby and Kevin Franke, they were eventually found 250 miles away from Ruby's Springville home in a place called American Fork. And they were in the care of a woman who'd picked them up from that recreation center. And this woman was a friend of Ruby's, but also a colleague at Connexions. Now, this woman told the police that Ruby had contacted her around noon and asked her to pick up the girls. And this woman also said it wasn't an odd request for her to be asked to bring the girls home with her because she often did this. And when she brought the girls home with her, they would do housework and chores at her house. So Ruby was literally and actually trafficking her own children, loaning them out to her employees to act as little unpaid maids. The girls said they wanted to remain with the woman who had picked them up. Now, clearly, in my opinion, these two children have been brainwashed. They've been told terrible things about their sister. They've been told terrible things about the police, law enforcement. They've been told terrible things about anyone who didn't follow and preach the Connexions mission statement of endorsing and encouraging child abuse in all of its forms. Now let's go back to Kevin Franke's police interview, which happened just days before all of this went down.
Ruby invited me to leave the home while I thought about the choices that I've made in my life and the way that I've treated her.
Okay.
And so I left.
During your marriage, how was disciplining your kids? How would you discipline your kids?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Okay, that's fine.
So Kevin doesn't want to say how he would discipline the kids because he knows that even when he lived in that house and even when they were filming daily content for the 8 Passengers YouTube channel, those kids weren't being treated well.
So is she doing this on her own and just telling you how your kids are?
She's not telling me anything about the kids.
Do you know a female named Jody?
She is a therapist and a life coach, I know. And she's...
Do you respect her?
Do I respect her? Yeah, I think she's a very honest, truthful person, yes.
Okay. So I don't recall the exact time, but sometime before 11 o'clock today, we received a phone call from 911 on our dispatch that a 12 to 13-year-old boy was knocking on doors in a neighborhood asking for food and water, that he was severely emaciated, that he had...
What is emaciated?
Skinny, scrawny, malnutritioned, not enough food, not enough water to sustain life. So he had...
I'm sorry, what?
He had duct tape on his extremities, on his hands, on his ankles, and those were covering rope burns that were used to tie him down. Take a second and think about what I just said. That's the condition of your son. Given that information, your son was taken to the hospital. A warrant has been applied and granted by the Department of Child and Family Services, so no one right now is going to have access to these two children based on their physical condition. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Your children are under medical care right now,
And what does that mean?
and it means that you don't have access to them. My understanding is that they are, what is that?
They're in the custody of DCFS.
And they will be for the next 70.
There's a medical hold on them right now, so for at least the next 72 hours, based on our understanding.
What's going to happen with my wife? I love my wife.
I don't know. I'm being honest with you. I don't know.
Folks, I don't know what to do. Like, I want this. You realize that I have a picture of my family on my wall, and I look at it every day, and I work every day so I can get back to my family and say to my family, and everything you're sharing to me just sounds like a made-up story. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, it sounds like a horror movie.
Kevin Franke is going to talk to the police again.
And this is where, like, I don't know what happened, but I do know that there's two different sides of stories. They tried to introduce her to a new cult lady that the Hannas were getting into. So they wanted to merge their cults into one, apparently. And
they referred to it as a cult at the time?
Oh, no. No one in a cult says, I'm in a cult.
But from your perspective, it looks like two cult leaders merging together.
From where I stand now, absolutely. Yeah. According to Jody, she was held against her will for 6 weeks and was kidnapped, and she escaped and got out. The moment she showed up in my house, just the weirdest started happening. Lights turning on and off, sounds of people walking in walls, and like sounds like footprints going up walls and across the ceiling, and like stuff floating around, and it was weird, and I hated it. Ruby would share with me like she had this amazing vision, and I wrote it and recorded it all down, and we have a work to do from God, and you're part of it, and the bishop's part of it, and we're all part of bringing all this stuff to the world. So like one of them, she was walking along the beach with Jesus, and Jesus challenged her to go walk on the water, and it was a whole lesson on walking on the water.